Hey, welcome to The Explainer. Today we're going to tear apart the whole idea of productivity. We're going way beyond the to-do list to look at a totally different way to get things done, one that has less to do with the clock and a whole lot more to do with you.
All right, let me ask you something. Have you ever gotten to the end of a day just completely wiped out? You've been busy, you've been running around, maybe you even checked a few things off your list, but that one big, important project, it's still just sitting there. Why is it we can end the day so drained, but feel like we're still falling behind?
Well, for as long as I can remember, the solution has always been manage your time better, right? We download the apps, we color code our calendars, and we try to squeeze every last second of productivity out of the day. But what if I told you that whole approach has a major fundamental flaw?
Here's the thing. We've been focusing on the wrong currency. The real problem isn't that you don't have enough time. It's that the resource that really determines the quality of your work isn't the number of hours you have. It's the energy you bring to those hours.
Just think about it for a sec. Time, it's finite. You get 24 hours in a day, and that's it. No more, no less. But energy, that's a whole different ballgame. It's a renewable resource. You can actually create more of it. You can recharge it, and you can aim it where it'll have the biggest impact.
Okay, so let's make that switch. Let's start focusing on the currency that truly matters, the one that dictates not just how much you get done, but how well you get it done. Let's talk about energy.
So what is energy management? It's not about grinding harder or for longer hours. Nope. It's about working smarter. It means you line up your most important brain-intensive tasks with those moments in the day when you feel on top of your game, when you're naturally most alert and focused. It's about getting amazing results without killing yourself in the process.
But when we say energy, what are we even talking about? It's not just one simple thing. In fact, performance psychologist Dr. Jim Lohr breaks it down into 4 key dimensions. And to really be at our best, we've got to learn to manage all 4 of them. So you've got your physical energy, that's your basic get up and go, your stamina. Then there's emotional energy, which is all about your resilience and positivity. You have mental energy for focus and concentration. And finally, spiritual energy, which is your connection to a deeper sense of purpose. And they're all connected, right? I mean, you can't have laser focus if you're physically exhausted. It just doesn't work. Okay, that's great. We have these 4 types of energy, but with a million things pulling at our attention every day, how in the world do we decide where to put it all for the biggest bang for our buck? Well, the answer is actually in a really simple but incredibly powerful idea that can act as a filter for everything you do. You've probably heard of it, the 80-20 rule, also known as the Pareto principle. Basically, it says that a tiny fraction of what you do, like 20% of your efforts, is responsible for the vast majority, about 80% of your actual meaningful results. And the rest of it, the other 80% of your tasks, it's often just noise, busy work that drains your precious energy without really moving you forward. So, how do you find that magic 20%? Here's a simple exercise. At the end of the week, just list out everything you did. Then, go back and circle the few things that really moved the needle, the things that created real results. Then, look at what drained you the most for the least amount of return. This little audit is going to be a game changer, I promise you. And this is the secret sauce. Once you know what those critical tasks are, you guard your peak energy time like a hawk, and you only work on those things during that time. That right there is the core of smart energy management. All right, having a great strategy is one thing, but it's totally useless if you don't have a system to back it up. And I'm not talking about some super rigid, perfect schedule that's just going to break at the first sign of trouble. We need something more flexible, more resilient. You know, there's this quote from Eisenhower that I think just nails it. The plan is nothing, planning is everything. What he means is that the real value isn't in having a perfect schedule that you follow to the letter. The value is in the act of planning itself, of consciously and deliberately deciding how you're going to invest your energy. So, the writer Cal Newport has this great idea. What if we stopped judging our days based on, did I get everything on my list done? And instead, we started asking a different question. Did I follow a good process? Was I intentional with the time and energy I had? Think about what this does. Suddenly, interruptions aren't failures anymore. So a meeting runs late, or your boss drops an urgent task on you, it's not a disaster. You just take a second, you form a new, deliberate plan for the time you have left, and you keep moving. It builds resilience. Okay, so we've got this new playbook, right? Energy over time, the 80-20 filter, focusing on the process, not perfection. But how do we make this stuff stick? how do we make it a real, tangible part of our day-to-day lives? This is where another idea from Cal Newport comes in, creating what he calls a root document. Basically, it's a single place, maybe a notebook or a digital doc, where you write down your personal productivity rules, your core principles, your key habits. By getting it out of your head and onto paper, it becomes real. It strengthens your commitment.
And routines are what really anchor this whole system. Think about it. A solid morning routine doesn't just start your day. It saves you mental energy. You're not wasting precious focus on small decisions first thing in the morning. These habits provide a stable foundation for everything else.
Look, I know this can sound like a lot, but you don't have to change everything overnight. Just start with one tiny thing this week. Just one. Track your energy for a few days to figure out when you're at your best. Then pick one, just one, high-impact task and block out 90 minutes to work on it. No phone, no email, no distractions. That's it. That's your first step.
Because in the end, it really all boils down to this one simple but profound shift in thinking. What if you stopped asking, how can I cram more into my time? And instead started asking, how can I best invest my energy? When you make that one change, you're not just changing how you work, you're changing the entire game.